What's going on, everybody? So if you are a car enthusiast, then you know that the Mazda Miata is one of the most fun and best-selling sports cars of all time. The Miata has been in production for over 28 years, and a lot of these first-generation Miatas are being bought secondhand, mostly by younger enthusiasts and car lovers like myself, and a lot of people use it as their only car and are forced to daily drive it. Now today I want to talk about not the sporty side of the Miata and the part that everybody raves and loves, but I want to talk about why this car sucks as a daily driver. But before we get into that, I do want to plug my merchandise. Today I am wearing my Sob shirt, which says "It's no sob story," and then of course has a beautiful picture of my 9.3 with my YouTube channel under it. If you guys are interested in purchasing one, the link to my website and shop are down below in the description. So the first reason why you should never daily a Miata is because of the comfort. Now, when you're looking at a daily driver, you want something that's nice and comfortable. You don't want something that's not necessarily loud, but that's obnoxious and it's bumpy and, you know, a manual. A lot of people don't want to daily drive a manual, and, you know, most Miatas are stick shift. So while I have found the seats in these cars to be fairly comfortable, they're not leather, they're just cloth seats, you know, they're not anything special. I mean, it's a very small car, as you know, as you can tell. I mean, I'm 6 feet tall, and granted my hair is spiked up, but I mean, it rubs off the convertible top when I have it up, and because of the convertible top, you get a lot of wind noise, and that is very annoying when you're cruising down the freeway at 70-75 miles an hour, and that's practically all you hear, along with the engine noise, because it's sitting at 3,500-4,000 RPM, just because of how it's geared, because it's such a sporty car. So to continue on with the trend of comfort, I also want to talk about creature comforts. Now, a lot of daily drivers, they have stereo systems, you know, nice AC and climate control, and all these nice creature comforts that, you know, make the driving experience as comfortable as possible. But of course, in this car, you have 4 tiny air vents that don't blow air out that fast. I mean, of course, if I crank it up to full power, I mean, my AC is very cool and it does cool me down, but it's not the same quality of a climate control system that you would get in a normal daily driver. Now, the stereo, of course, leaves something to be desired. I mean, it's 2 speakers, I believe. I mean, there's one in each door, and I think that's it. So it's not very loud at all. It is very quiet. Of course, in these older Miatas especially, you don't have any of the Bluetooth or an aux port or anything like that with the factory radio. You're kind of just limited to the standard radio stations. So another point that I want to touch on is the practicality. Now, the practicality of the Miata, as you can tell just by looking at it, is pretty bad. Now, the trunk on this car is absolutely tiny, and I quite frankly can't fit much in there. I mean, you can get your tiny donut or spare tire in there, and then you've got maybe room for 1 duffel bag and maybe a small backpack, and that's about it. Now, that's of course why this car has the luggage rack. Now, of course, I didn't put that on there, and I quite despise the look of it, but that was a factory option. Mazda, of course, was trying to appeal more to those who would daily drive it, and they wanted to make it as practical as possible. But inside here, you do, of course, have a glove box, which is, I'd say it's a normal size glove box. You have a tiny bit of storage right here where you can rest your arm, but I mean, that's about it. There isn't really much storage in this car. I mean, I guess technically you could use the little shelf space right behind your head, but I mean, that's not really going to do much. It's just going to block your view. Now, the last point that I want to talk about for why the Miata sucks as a daily driver, and this point is actually something that you wouldn't think that I would bring up in this video, given that this car only has a 1.8 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. But the gas mileage in these cars is not good at all, and that's not because I like to drive this car hard now and then. Now, I would say that on my average tank of gas, and another reason this car sucks to daily is that, I mean, it's got a 10-11 gallon gas tank, if that. When I fill it up, when it's just about on empty, I'll get just over 10 gallons of gas. So it's a very small gas tank, and when I'm filling it up at that point, I mean, I'm doing just over 250 miles on a tank, and that's with a mix of conservative and highway driving, as well as a bit of, you know, a little bit of harder driving. So with that being said, guys, that's gonna wrap up this video. If you did enjoy it, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see y'all next time.